buying a Detroit house with what I call a dirty deed? I hope not. If you buy a house from me, you will not get a dirty deed. I'm Monique Burns. My husband and I have been buying houses with dirty deeds from distressed sellers for a long time, since 2007. The houses not only have dirty deeds typically, but they are also dirty houses that need a whole lot of renovating. And we go in, and my husband's side of the business is he goes and he cleans up the house, and I do the work necessary to clean up the deed so I can sell you something that you can just rest easy knowing that you got the right kind of house with what's called a warranty deed. Now, a warranty deed means that the title company went through all the background of all the transactions that have ever happened on this house, and they say, I can insure this, this is good, nobody's gonna come up and make a claim to the house, and if they do, we've got insurance for that and we'll make it go away. It's definitely your house. And so I get it through that process. In this video, you are going to learn the process that I go through when the deed's kind of messy, what I do with the title company. I am on the board of my local REIA, Real Estate Investors Association of Oakland, as in Oakland County, Michigan, not Oakland, California. Some people get it confused. My role on the board is I host what we call the early bird. It's a class that we put on at the beginning of each meeting for like 30 minutes. And I invited Davin Parnell of Detroit Title to come talk to us about some of these dirty deed things and the background of what he does. So that's what this video is going to be, is him talking about that. He is specifically talking about tax foreclosure properties. He will describe what that even is and how it can make for a very messy deed, even though it's a house legally taken by the county for people who are not paying taxes. My husband and I bought many houses from the county. If you're a buyer out there and thinking about this, there is some very valuable information. This is auction time right now, September and October coming up, that people are buying these. Some stuff you really have to know are going to be in this video. And he talks about his end of making a business decision, whether or not they will even insure the house. They don't insure all of them. And if Detroit Title isn't giving it insurance, pretty much nobody is. And he gives great tips for buyers to help themselves buy a house that Detroit Title will insure. So I'm hoping you watch this and your takeaway is that, wow, you don't want to buy a house and find out there's this big can of worms. And I hope your takeaway is you should just work with people you know who are already taking care of all this stuff before you even get the house. Now, last week I made a video and I broke down all the numbers of a house that I have for sale on Joann, and you should check out that video. It's got a nice clean title that I'm willing to sell it to you that way. And I think this is a house that a few years ago we did get it through the tax foreclosure process. So if you are interested in buying a nice clean house without any scary ghosts coming up to haunt your deed, set up a time on Calendly to give me a call. And it really surprises me how many of you watch and you're not subscribing to my channel. If you subscribe, you'll get new videos each week that help you make really good financial decisions with your investments. My commitment to you is I keep making you videos. It just helps a lot if you subscribe. It's really appreciated. Meanwhile, check out what Davin Parnell has to say about how his company cleans up these dirty deeds.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it. It's the first time we met in person. Good to put a face with a name.
I've emailed with him a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the first place to start is, what is a tax foreclosure? I mean, it's just very simple. It's a way for the county to remedy the fact that they have not been paid taxes for a piece of property. The way they remedy that is by taking that property. But again, it's just a remedy for the county to try to recoup the funds they lost from not having taxes paid. So they take the property, sell it at auction, and once it's sold at auction, they give everybody the same spiel, which is basically, hey, you're getting it on a quitclaim deed, but we're wiping out all interest. So once we take it through a court action, the interests are gone, you have nothing to worry about. That's not necessarily the case. It is necessarily the case in the sense of, is it a legal taking? Can you move forward as the owner? Absolutely. But with the quitclaim deed, the most important thing to remember with the quitclaim deed, no matter who you get it from, is by definition, that individual is just quitting their claim to the property. They aren't warranting anything. They aren't guaranteeing anything. They're just quitting whatever claim they have and passing that along to you. I could give you a quick claim deed for this building, but you have whatever interest I have, which is 0. So with the county saying that, the county's essentially, in my humble opinion, as a real estate professional, covering their butts in case something happens. So what you have to do then in that sense is cover yours as well. The way we determine if we can issue a policy is by ordering the tax foreclosure file, or I'm sure you've heard this word, the FOIA. So FOIA is the acronym for Freedom of Information Act. We reach out to the county, and what we ask the county is, show us what you did when you took this property, who was noticed, how were they noticed, and when were they noticed. All of those things are important to us as a title company as far as our decision to insure. We need everyone that we identify as an owner or having an interest in the property prior to it to be noticed inside of that FOIA. If they aren't noticed in that FOIA, it's what we call a bad FOIA. Now, a bad FOIA doesn't mean you can't proceed, but it's going to delay us. We can issue a policy on almost any property. It's just a matter of 2 things, time and money. How much of either of those things do you have to get this thing cleared up? The first way I like to go is order the FOIA we review. That way, our company clears, I say, 85 to 90% of our files that way. The majority of them are good. The counties have gotten much better contractors. They've gotten much better at giving us the information. But the problem that we run into, as soon as the county got good at that, boom, COVID hits. So now we're in a situation where the notices are going out, but now the post office isn't able to get that information back to us. So now we're running into a separate situation where everyone's noticed, but we don't know if those individuals actually received. People aren't talking to each other. Everything's just labeled COVID-19. So now as a title company, we're in a situation where we're trying to make a business decision. And that's all this is. From our standpoint, this isn't, hey, this is a legal foreclosure. And that's what I get on my pushback all the time. On the 10 or so out of 100 that we don't insure, I get, hey, this is a legal foreclosure. How could they sell me this property? Them having a legal foreclosure is totally different from us making our business decision as to whether or not we're going to insure. The minute we have to defend the claim, we lost all the money we made on the transaction. So as a title company, we look at it simply as, is this something that's either not going to cause us a headache, or if it does cause us a headache, is it something that we can easily scoot out of? If the answer to those 2 things are yes, we insure. If we can't insure that way, we go to a couple of different remedies. So these remedies are things I want you to think about on the front end when purchasing your properties. If you're purchasing and you find out that you're buying from an individual and that individual may have had a tax sale in the past, please get a title policy. That title policy allows us to put our title policy in place. It doesn't clear every single time for us, but the thinking behind it as a title company is if someone already stepped in and issued a $50,000 policy, I'm absolutely willing to issue my $70,000 policy because my exposure is $25,000. Now, we have situations, with very real scenarios, where if you bought that house 10 years ago, you may have a $10,000 policy, and now you're selling it for $150,000. I'm a lot less apt to cover $140,000 per year. So the title policy doesn't clear it every single time, but a lot of times it works for us. The other route that we have are 2 ways. The first one is a separate policy to cover the tax foreclosure item. That policy is given through local or national companies that only review the tax foreclosure and cover that portion. Once they put that policy in place for us, we put a policy in place for you. You have no problems going forward. And the last item would be going through a quiet title action. If all of those items are exhausted, at that point, you want to go through a quiet title action. A quiet title action essentially is doing the exact same circuit court case that the county did, but you're re-noticing these individuals. We're giving them a second opportunity to come forward, to challenge this sale, to speak their piece. If they don't do it, then again, we're in a position as a title agency where we say, hey, the chances of this are slim to none of causing an issue, so we like to move forward in those scenarios. But even those tend to have a little bit of additional work with them. Our agency specifically just moves forward with a judgment. We don't need to review the entire circuit court case file. Not every title company operates that way. We do it simply for ease. At that point, we view it as this has gone through the circuit court twice. It's not going to cause a problem. If there's a third case, it'll be the first time that I see it. So all of these are ways that the title company makes themselves comfortable with ensuring things that we view to be high risk. And a foreclosure is almost always high risk because individuals can come back at any time, whether the lawsuit's frivolous or not. It's still a hassle, and it's still something that the title company is going to have to defend for you and for themselves. So are there any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I bought a house through the tax auction once, and I had to get quiet title. I kind of question if I had to get quiet title. I think my title company could have done better. It wasn't you. It's another title company. I think they could have. There's steps title companies can do to avoid quiet title, right?
Yes.
So I went ahead, spent all that time and money, got the lawyer, went through quiet title, got the stamp thing, gave it to my title company, and their underwriter said no because they didn't do the same search we do.
Yes. So that does happen. So what I would say is if you're doing a quiet title action, if you're doing it for your title agency, I hope it's me. If it's not me, it's someone else. Take the title commitment that they gave you to your attorney. Don't let your attorney get another one. They're going to charge you for something you've already paid for. They may not find everything that title company found. Every title company has different standards. Underwriters have different standards. The reason we don't review the full foreclosure file or the full court case file is, in my opinion, I'm not better at reviewing those docs than the circuit court judge is. If that judge said this is okay, I'm okay following that judge and saying it's okay. So, but if everybody doesn't operate that way. So, again, our entire, the way we operate is try to streamline things for difficult properties. We specialize in difficult properties. What we do is we try to make the process for difficult things as streamlined as possible. Not easy, but streamlined.
And they're my title company, and they've crossed about 50 deals for me, and
Thank you, Tom.
my kind of deals, right?
Yeah. Tommy finds the interesting ones. Yeah. And we all know 9 times out of 10, right now, with the way the economy is, that's where the deals are, in the interesting stuff, in the tough to do things. And that's when you need to find someone who's good at the tough to do things, and that's what we are. Are there any other?
What percentage of people that bring you FOIA requests do get approved, essentially?
I would say, honestly, it's about 90%. So it's about 9 out of 10. Now, that does vary with the year.
Wait, do you mean like get approved as in doesn't need quiet title?
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
as in doesn't need quiet title. Yeah,
Right.
as in doesn't need quiet title or any other remedy. So as long as it doesn't need any other remedies, I include those at 90%. That other 10%, those are they fall into any of a number of various buckets. But usually it's either the foreclosure is completely deficient, or you have people slandering title after the foreclosure. And that always causes a problem for us. So in those scenarios, even if that person was noticed, if they come out and just out of nowhere start deeding out, we stop right there because, again, the business decision of us stopping and not engaging a person who's already claiming interest to the property when it's not valid, we just don't want to be in that fight.
Yeah, we also have attorney Jerry Sagatti.
This is the total.
Gary's here and he's going to talk about the whole quiet title thing. Explain that process. He's an attorney, he knows about that. Thank you, Davin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching Davin Parnell. We really appreciate him speaking at our group, and thank you for everybody that watched it. My next video, you saw us talking about Gary Sagatti, who's a local attorney. He goes into a lot more detail about quiet titles. So I'll make a video about what he had to say next. And I hope you subscribe. Thanks again for watching.